You look too cute to hate ding dongs, Simon. And there's your intro.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Ding dong. Is there anything special about number 9? 9 mean anything to anyone?
9 is the best number.
Oh. 9999.
No, it's so I can't remember. It's years ago I saw this video. I should find it and link it, or have you guys watch it, and then we'll talk about it next time. But 9 is like the perfect number. There's so many reasons why the number 9 is the best number. And at first, this is exactly how I felt when I first saw this video. The first like 20, 30 seconds, I'm like, this is stupid. And then by third minute, I'm like, holy shit. And then it's like a half an hour long. And it's like, dude, number 9. There's a lot of reasons.
Surely
I wish I knew more before.
It was 36 minutes long. So it was like a multiple of 9.
Yeah, it probably was actually.
Nice.
So maybe this should be the last episode we ever do.
Oh. This is like one of the things I look forward to each week. So we can still record, I guess, just not publish. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Of course we're doing more. Don't go away, listeners. We'll be here. Don't listen to Simon. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'm watching this thing. No, you guys go ahead. I'm just gonna. I forgot where it is.
Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding.
Veritasium did a video on
Rainbows.
Dude. Did you guys watch that?
I don't know
I
any of
watched
this stuff.
most of it.
Oh my gosh, Simon. Okay. First of all, the Veritasium channel is amazing. Second of all, his recent video he did on rainbows was so freaking cool. And it's one of those things that you see all the time, and you maybe even have, you think, an understanding of why they exist, why they come to be, but you're totally wrong. And the real answer is amazing.
My first piece of evidence, and I'm going to keep coming back to this. So you guys are going to continue this conversation, and I'm going to keep interjecting with why number 9 is the best. A circle is 360 degrees. 3 plus 6 plus 0 is
9.
9.
180. 1 plus 8 plus 0.
9.
90 degrees. 9 plus 0.
9.
Yeah.
Half of 90, 45. 4 plus 5.
9.
Half of 45, 22.5. 2 plus 2 plus 5.
7.
False. 2 plus 2 plus 5.
Just trying to throw you off.
man. All right, I'll be back. Keep going.
Oh my god.
Oh, and then it goes half of that to 11.25, and then half of 11.25 is 5.7, whatever it is. 22.5, 11.25, 5.625. Half of that, 2.8125. 2 plus 8 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 9 also.
So is this a result of the
half
fact that we arbitrarily picked, 360 degrees to represent a full revolution?
It's not arbitrarily chosen.
How did that come about?
I'm getting there.
How was that number chosen?
You think they just picked a number?
Because it was a
They're like,
multiple of
"I
9.
know." No.
That's what I'm thinking. They were like, we like 9 and we also like 40. So yeah, 360. That sounds good.
All right, what about the sum of the angles of a triangle? 60, 60, 60.
Yeah, 180.
Right?
We got it. Yeah.
All right. It's the same kind of thing. Same for a square. 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. 90
This
times
is going to
4,
end up
360.
somewhere in Shane's going to be like, and that's why in 2037, aliens are going to come from Jupiter and they're going to destroy the whole Earth.
They're not from Jupiter, and they're already here, so...
Oh man. Either that or this is going to be why
degrees.
This will be why the Earth is actually flat. It has all to do with 9. All to do with 9.
This
But
Wait,
yeah,
how can rainbows be curved if the Earth is flat?
oh, see, this is why you should watch the video.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's
Actually.
like, why are rainbows curved? Do you know, Simon? I didn't know. No, that one I actually really didn't know. I thought I even knew why you see the colors that you see. Most people are like, oh, a prism, it breaks apart white light into its components. Nah, it's way cooler than that. Way cooler.
The sum of all
if you're
digits.
a hardcore nerd like I am.
The sum of all the digits, excluding 9, is 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Also,
Oh,
9
man.
plus any number returns the same digit. So 9 plus 5 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. I
Okay,
don't know why you're
cool.
laughing. This is serious.
I'm
man.
looking up, and 37. Shane,
The
that's
end
your
is
new.
9.
That's your new number of interest. So go watch Veritasium on why the number 37 shows up everywhere.
Really?
And to me, that's much more interesting than 9.
Why? What? But you haven't watched this video, so how could you say that?
Because, like, I don't know, just like taking a number like 360 and being like, okay, well, if I break apart a 3 and a 6 and then, I don't know, that's just kind
This
of
is just
like,
getting. This is in the first 4
This is
minutes
just
of
getting
a
started?
13-minute video. Yeah, it's way
Alright,
more
give
than
me-
that. It's building up evidence. There's a lot.
Okay. Well, yeah, go check out 37.
I will watch 37 if you watch 9.
Yeah. And like 37 is extra interesting because it's prime. So the fact that it does show up a lot of places is extra cool.
That is interesting, actually.
Yeah. Anyways,
I feel
what is this
so
episode going to be
stupid.
about? I mean, I'm glad we already have a title in place.
Tesla.
Why 37 is better than 9.
No way.
But I don't know what else we're going to talk about in this episode.
No
No,
way.
it has to be the end is 9.
The end is 9. Oh, I love it. At least
Yeah.
we'll pick up some German viewers, probably. Is
No,
that where
not
you're going
that's
with that?
that's a different spelling.
No.
Oh.
No, it's like
Well, then what
the
do you
end
mean?
is
What is-
nigh. No, you know the usual phrase is the end is nigh, right?
Yeah.
The aliens are coming because of number 9. So
Ooh,
the
do
end
we
is
believe in aliens?
9.
Come on, let's.
I do.
We did the flat Earth, right?
I do.
This is a good.
I don't believe that we will ever interface with them,
So, all right.
but I do believe
I believe the universe is way too big for there
way
not
too
to
big.
be, right?
Yeah.
So, but then what is your take then about the recent, if you've seen it or know about it, the recent interviews with the senators and all the people from the government talking about that they have contact and they have actual technology and there are organic life forms that are controlling them and there's video evidence and all this stuff. This is not hypothesized. This 2 weeks ago there was testimony. You don't know about this?
Is this
Look at
TikTok
my
stuff?
eyes.
No.
at my
This
eyes.
was freaking CNN.
He's
dude.
got
This
skeptical
is
eyes.
actual. This is actual news. This is not conjecture. This is actual Congress hearings 2 weeks ago.
And who's
People
saying that
that
they
are
had
inside-
contact?
The freaking government, our government, the United States government.
So this is them officially announcing that they have
Absolutely,
had contact?
1000%. This is real. You don't know about this, dude? Come on.
Give me the sources. I need to see.
I will.
I need
I'll
to
do
see
it right now.
this.
Hang on a second.
I mean, our country is already whacked, but so we're reducing our reputation for Simon even further. But yeah, hit me up. Give me
It's
some
not for
links.
me.
Yeah.
Experts testify at the UFO congressional hearing 3 weeks ago. It's 3 weeks ago, not 2.
The reason I
Come
don't,
on, Shane, get your facts right. I don't trust you now.
That's okay.
yeah, no, I don't really believe any of that stuff, because
This is just a
The
2-minute
universe-
snippet I'm sending you in Telegram.
the
Just
universe
take a look at
is
that real quick.
it's too big. It's too big. So my
So-
point is that, like, if we were to hear from aliens, one, I don't believe they're physically here, and then two, what they've like tried to figure out what the closest solar system is that would have a Goldilocks zone, right, for life to potentially take place, and it's got how many millions of light years away or whatever. So like if we were to hear from an alien civilization, they would have had to have tried to send us a message via light millions of years ago, and we're just now going to be hearing it. Like, no. Unless I'm totally wrong, and the closest Goldilocks zone is like way closer than that, but I guess that could be the case. Boy, this is riveting. I love talking about stuff we have no
I've just
idea
had
what
like
we're talking
10 seconds of that video that you've shared the link to, and I'm like, this is all distraction and media. Like, I just want to talk about media being a complete waste of space.
Well, I don't disagree with that. The second video is the actual half-an-hour congressional hearing on UFOs.
Okay.
So it's not just the media snippet of them talking about it.
But then how much of... Oh, no, I can't comment on that. Sorry. This is getting... Because I think it's going to end up political. I really don't want to do that. But the my view on that is, isn't that all just a show anyway? Isn't it all just entertainment?
Yep. I also
Are you not entertained?
Hey,
the great
as much as what we pay for taxes, man, I better get it.
Well, you're getting it. I don't know whether you're buying it, but
I'll watch that stuff for you, Shane, and we'll see.
In terms of aliens, man, I don't know. I'm kind of the view that there's going to be some biological life out there, microbes and maybe rodents or something, but intelligent, nah, I don't know. It feels like the universe is too big for there not to be, but I mean, when you think about how big the universe is, what do you have in mind?
That it's huge. Like there's billions of solar systems. Yeah. Like there's
like the most important picture ever taken. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so for maybe Steven and anyone else. So I think it was Hubble, right? They found just a black spot in the sky, and they were like, let's just aim the camera there, leave the exposure open for like 3 days, and just see nothing. What is the black actually made of? And it was like trillions of more galaxies and stars and planets, and it was like this tiny little dot in way out there, and it's like there really is no black out there. It's just the light hasn't all gotten to us yet. The night sky should technically be bright in 10 billion years. The Earth won't be here still, but whatever.
There was a recent, I think it was James Webb Space Telescope, which is like the best camera that we've now got that's out in space and actually able to investigate all of this stuff in great detail. And there was like a super mega gigapixel shot, and you could zoom into it. This was only a few weeks ago. You could zoom in, and then you could zoom in some more, and then you could zoom in some more, and more, and more, and more. And I was like, wait, how far does this go? And I'm like Google mapping zoom all the way down. And then the little piece where it stopped at the zoom level was like still quite detailed, and it was like, these are all galaxies in this like zoomed in thing. And then you zoom back out and you're like, holy what?
It's crazy.
There is no space enough in your head to imagine how massive the universe is.
Yeah.
So I have to be like, well, there's probably something out there.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Well, but I believe in evolution, and I think that there are simply too many solar systems that are out there that like somewhere else will have a Goldilocks planet. And so if there is water and the other necessary elements for life, that evolution will do its thing, and it will eventually turn into like all forms of life, but yeah, including intelligent life. I just don't think that we'll ever interface with them.
Because
But there's my take.
the bus ride is too big.
Because
too
the bus
long.
ride is too big. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to, generate wormholes and cool stuff like that. But until you can take space itself and like literally shrink the distance, we already know that we can't go as fast as light ever. Even if you could, you're still talking about so much time to get anywhere of note. And so why
Well,
are
that's
we
in
talking
this
about
universe.
this? This is like I thought we were starting this episode talking about Thanksgiving, Shane going to Colorado, but we started on extraterrestrial life and how big the universe is. Like,
What if the
man.
turkeys are extraterrestrial?
Yep. Welcome to the fake PBS Spacetime show, where Shane, Steven, and Simon talk about stuff we don't know much about.
It's fun.
So, with that said, Shane, how was your trip?
Dude,
How
it
was your
was so
Thanksgiving?
fast. We actually created a wormhole to get to Colorado.
Oh, perfect.
It's
I could-
done. Oh,
I
It's
could
done.
reach through it right now and pull
Delta came
back.
through. They made it happen.
And now your right hand is 10 years older than your left hand. Oh, it's disgusting.
It's my
I would
alien
have said
hand.
that anyway.
Thanks. Colorado was great. They had one snowfall a few weeks ago, and then like the day after we got there, or the night we got there, it snowed that night a few inches, several inches, and then it all
Nice.
froze, and so it was a winter wonderland the whole trip. And we
Oh.
went to Boulder and got some lunch. We went
Love
up
Boulder.
to a little town called Netherlands with a D.
Oh.
And they have like we went there a few years ago. There's like a little coffee shop. They have these really, really good I don't know, like a little cake thing. It's like wild berry strudel kind of thing. I don't know. It was delicious. I just have really good memory of it. They still had it when I went back, and did not disappoint.
Where is
And we
that?
went to the I'm sorry.
Like, where is Netherlands relative to Boulder or Denver or any?
Believe
other-
it's like north. So we went up to Boulder, and then we
Uh-huh.
went around and came back through Golden. So it was in that loop
Okay.
coming back to the west side of Denver,
Yeah. Okay.
somewhere along that line. It's about maybe halfway. And we went to
Okay.
the casino, and I won $150 or so, and then I lost
Hey.
$200. So not
Oh.
bad.
Well, that's not as good as Ian. I don't know if you guys saw his. Sorry to massively go off on a tangent here, but really shocked me. He threw together, or he posted on Blue Sky, the amount of money he's making from playing poker. Did you guys see this?
Didn't see it. No.
I don't know who Ian is.
He made.
I
he
don't
made
think
like
I don't think I follow him on Blue Sky.
Oh, Ian Landsman?
he whatever last month did over $400 an hour from playing poker. Like-
But he played for 20 minutes.
Damn. No. No. I think he's a weekly player probably. Or something like that. But yeah, he netted like 7-8 grand in the month. And so
Nice.
yeah, I'm like I am in the wrong line of work apparently. I just need to get really good at poker, find the right group to play with that like have money but they're not too good at it either, and then
Basically, dumb rich people.
yeah, sorry. But anyways, okay, so Shane, you went to a casino. Did you get into the mountains at all?
Yeah, on that same trip, we drove
Okay.
around. I was in the back seat and got nauseous. We did go up to Buffalo Bill's gravesite, which has this beautiful lookout over all of Denver. So you have the mountains all on one side, and it's beautiful landscape. And then you can see like the plains, the flat you know, from Denver to New York or whatever, you know, the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It looks very flat, by the way. But I'm not a flat earther, just so you know. We talked about this.
Flat.
This area was flat relative to the mountains behind me. No, it was great. It was nice and cool and crisp and
Well, you brought
Yeah.
the cold back with you because in
Yeah.
North Carolina, it's been nippy last week.
it's been nippy.
Ooh, nippy.
Nippy. And we even got a little dusting. I don't know if you got snow. What day was that? Wednesday
Doesn't matter. I didn't
morning?
get any.
Tuesday? It was
I don't know. It
Tuesday.
snowed.
Oh, you didn't get
I don't
any?
know. No, I don't know. It snowed where you are. That's cool.
Yeah, just a tiny bit, like an inch or two, but we got to play
Wow.
with it. It totally wrecked my town because they hadn't prepared for it, so none of the roads were, salted or whatever chemical they put down, and so people couldn't get to work. Car wrecks, daycare
Oh,
shut
wow.
down because staff didn't make it to the location. So I had the kids all day, but it was good. And yeah,
If I
it was pretty
remember
nippy
right,
this morning.
last year there was maybe like a week collectively that it got down below 20 degrees or something. And this
Right.
year it's already been like, since we got
Yeah.
back, it's been every
Had a
day
A cold
in
start.
the teens. Yeah.
hmm And this morning it was 20 going to daycare, which is like, well, I don't know. What is that for Simon's part of the world? -7 Celsius.
That never happens in my part of the world.
Where you are now, I'm sure. Yeah, if if close to the equator got to -7 Celsius,
There'd
be an
some
alien
serious
attack.
problems.
there would be some problems probably.
Go back to Jupiter.
But what about in the UK? I mean, I'm sure it got, really cold in the UK, no? Or does it just not?
It does in parts. I think obviously the further north you go,
Right.
the deeper into winter you are, especially at night time, you can get like -10 something. And it's been known to get even lower than that, and some years ago before we destroyed the planet. But yeah,
But like in general, like is the London area a very moderate
it's
climate in the
too-
sense it never gets super cold nor super hot?
well, we
Or
we
does
had
it get super
snow
hot?
one year while I was living there, and
Oh, wow.
it was chaos. Like nobody knows how to deal with snow in the UK. Like we don't have the infrastructure support to like figure it out, and then nobody knows what to do with their cars in the snow. Like they don't know how to drive in the snow. It's just like it's
Yeah.
pandemonium. So that happens, but most of the time it's like the city is just generally a couple of degrees up above like what wouldn't be normal ambient temperature. So it's just like too warm
Yeah.
for the snow to like materialize.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of turns into rain on the way down.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me though because people don't realize like just how far north the UK is, right? Like relative to the United States, like it's I believe even way north of Maine, Toronto, like all of those on a whatever latitude. So it's just crazy to me that you guys like don't get super cold because you're way up there.
I mean,
Isn't
London
Scotland like
doesn't,
as
but-
far north as Alaska and stuff? I'm probably like totally wrong on all of this.
The
I'm gonna
UK
look like a
is
total.
very small by
like a
comparison, so
super
I don't know
idiot.
if it stretches that far. But I mean, there's. I used to live in a place in the UK which was it's like high up, so it's kind of in the hills. But then it's even in that region. It's kind of the higher part of that region, and it's on a hill. So they said the wind used to come straight over from Russia, and there was nothing like stopping it. This was the thing that people in that region would be like, "Oh, it's cold now, isn't it? Because of the wind that's coming from Russia." It's like, sure, I believe you. Maybe that's a real thing, but it was definitely cold there. I could tell you that. So yeah, it does get cold in the UK.
Okay. It just doesn't
You also
seem to get
have
as
like
cold
some
as it should.
so like there's parts of Alaska, the southern parts of Alaska that are actually really warm, or surprisingly warm, I guess, warmer than you would expect, because there's a lot of winds coming up from like Hawaii area that affect it a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing it's got to be something similar to that. You got a lot of like Atlantic breeze that is maybe
Pacific,
keeping
but
it
yes.
warmer than you would expect.
Yeah. I mean, any really large body of water like that is going to help stabilize the temperature kind of significantly.
Whereas like I grew up upstate New York, very, very,
Right.
very, very cold.
Mm-hmm.
More snow. Like we set the world record for snow, but it's landlocked, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for the most part, it's landlocked. You're not affected by any ocean breeze bringing tropical air. Not that high, generally
Yeah.
speaking. 11 feet in 24 hours, by the way.
Wow.
Holy.
127 inches. It was the year I graduated, 2001, and then the year after I graduated, it was 131 inches in 24 hours. I remember the lady on the news. She was like holding her microphone. All you could see behind her was like a wall of white, and she's like, "And yeah, somewhere behind me are 2 pickup trucks," and you couldn't see anything, nothing.
That
It was,
is wild. That's when people are
negative
climbing out of their
76.
second floor windows just to get out of their home.
We did. So I was
That's
in a
wild.
trailer with my brother. We lived in a trailer at the time, and it was like the only trailer that the door opens inward, and we had our shovel in the house for whatever reason, the trailer. And we had to like make squares with the shovel, and then like, where do you put the snow? So we filled up the bathtub with snow, and the pipes were all frozen, and it was state of emergency. But we dug our way up and out and on top of the roof, and it was like just like we knew there were other trailers and stuff in this area, but it was just flat. Like,
That must have been a sight. Holy cow.
yep, it was like I don't mind snow, but like I don't want to have to survive snow. You know what I mean? Like, my son is like, we should go and like go. And it's like, yeah, it's fun to visit. It's fun to visit. It's fun to go sledding, but I wouldn't want to live in that ever again. Never
Yeah.
again.
Denver snow is
Nope.
great because you get some,
It was nice.
but then 2 or 3 days later, frequently, it'll be warm enough that it has melted. So you get your fun, but you're not weeks on end having to shovel,
Exactly.
get mud off of your shoes. It's just every now and again, it's a little winter wonderland, and then you enjoy it for 72 hours, and then it's gone naturally. So, yeah. Have any good food for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Do you guys have
yeah.
did you do a traditional Thanksgiving or
So what? I
Not-
mean, well, what's traditional? I guess
Not
is it you talking about
turkey
the
and
So
the normal sides?
my uncle has been in the food industry his whole life, and him and his wife, they've published like 60 something cookbooks. They've been on TV for years and years, and they live it. They don't just, that's not just their job, So yeah, it was the works, and it was just the two of them
Nice.
and Victoria and I, and it was, we had. Unfortunately, I had some crazy weird headache like right before dinner, and so I went down and like fell asleep, and my uncle's like waking me up. I'm like, get away from me! But
Oh no.
so I ate,
Altitude,
but not very
maybe?
much. Maybe a little dehydrated. Not exactly sure, but after I ate a little bit, I felt fine, and food was great. Food was
Nice.
Food was great.
How did they do turkey?
Turkey, yep. Turkey,
And how-
mashed
how did they
potatoes,
prepare it?
corn.
Was it in the oven?
In the oven. So
Yeah?
actually,
Okay.
he does it the day before.
Okay.
And he's got like the exact method. So my uncle, in another part of his life, he also like on Thanksgiving would go to, he was from Florida, South Florida, and went to churches or a church, and like every year for like 20 years, donated his time, and he owned a catering company years and years ago. So he knew how to like manage the kitchen, not just like go and cook some meals. So they would do like 200 turkeys or something for the homeless shelter that was part of the church. So like his methods, he's like, so cooking one turkey is like no sweat. You know what I mean? Like this is not a big deal at all. I don't know exactly like everything he did, but put it in the oven. He's got a convection oven the day before, and then let it cool and browned it. Had it covered so it steams inside, and then you uncover it to let it brown when it's finally done, and then pulled it all apart, made the gravy out of the drippings, and Had everything kind of in this broiling pan that was ready to just pop in the oven for a half an hour, 20 minutes the next day, and everything's already cut up and ready to go. And
Nice.
perfect. Yep.
That does sound good. Though I do not like turkey.
You don't
Not
like
a fan
turkey?
I'm not a fan of turkey. It's too boring. So
You might want to try my uncle's turkey.
I was about to say that did sound pretty good. My wife also has a coworker that does a Mojo turkey.
Mm.
He's like Cuban, and so they just have like a really cool way of doing their turkey that sounds much better to me. But like just a normal, run of the mill, oven baked turkey, it's so bland and dry.
Not
So,
dry.
I do
So
like deep fried
I think
turkey.
I think that's probably the issue. You've had dry turkey, like they're just
Yeah.
not prepared properly,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because this is not at all dry. This is like falling
Good.
apart like a brisket almost. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like juicy and yeah.
So that I'd be happy to try. And I do
Yeah.
like deep fried turkey. It's a
Me
lot
too.
of work, but whenever Alyssa's father in particular, but just family would be in town, and we would deep fry a turkey. And that's a good way to do it. It's also nice and fast, right? Instead of waiting hours and hours and hours, you can get it done in a much shorter period of time.
So he had a friend that lives down the street from him send a picture of their deep fryer on a cardboard boxes to catch the oil in their
Yeah.
kitchen.
No,
And
they did it
it-
inside.
So my uncle showed me. He's like, "Oh my God, they can't do this. This is like 4 houses down from where he lives, right?" And so we're all freaking out. And he calls him immediately. He's like, "Dude, no, stop what you're doing. I will come down there and help you stop this." And he's like, the guy just starts laughing. He's like, "It was a prank picture." We're like, "Oh my God." Good one.
Have you guys seen the like exploding fryers when people drop
Yeah.
a still frozen? Because the problem is they don't thaw the turkey.
And dry
all
it.
or
It's got to
enough.
be, yeah.
Yeah, so it still has all of this moisture, right? Water on the exterior surface from being frozen. And people that don't know have this 400-degree oil, and they just plop a frozen turkey in it.
And it's over a propane flame, you know?
Yeah,
So it's like,
it insta boils and just like freaking goes
Catches things
nuts.
on
And then
fire.
all of that oil exactly drops onto the propane burner. It catches on fire. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure there's some good TikTok reels out there of just endless dodos.
I actually saw one
burning
not
there.
long ago, just a few days ago, and it was just so many videos I had to swipe. It was just
Yeah.
like over and over and over and over, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Very nice. And
Oh,
what day did
man.
you come home from Colorado? How long were you there?
Saturday.
Okay.
We left Tuesday, we came back Saturday.
Nice.
And
Flights
it was
good?
Flights were okay. The flights were okay. I'm not going to.
I had
There was a
words
little-
with the
there-
pilot.
Well, there was an incident. I'm not going to get into it on the show, but
Okay.
it was okay. The flight was okay. There was an incident, and yeah, we'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
But overall, we made it home safe. There was no turbulence. If that's what you're talking about, then yes, that was all fine.
Very cool. Was
How about
that,
you?
Well, sorry. One more question. You said you went with your special lady.
Victoria and I went. She
Was that her first time out west, or to, like, I don't know, was it a first time or anything?
Nope, she was in
Okay.
Colorado, Denver, actually, back in like 2015 for some other
Okay.
event. It's like the only place she's ever been out west,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
we brought her back to the same thing. So we're trying to plan some other trips.
Okay.
She's also never been to the city, New York City, and she's never been to
Oh,
Florida.
okay.
So that's probably, my dad's in Tampa. So usually for spring break, I bring Carson, my son, down, and we visit my dad for a few days. We'll stop on the way, maybe Jacksonville, Savannah, Jekyll Island for a night or two, and do some history, sightseeing. And so we were just talking about that yesterday or the day before, planning some trips coming up in April, and then getting closer to summer, probably New York.
Okay.
I want to
Yeah,
go on
cool.
these trips. That
Come
sounds
on,
awesome.
man. Let's go.
Come on over. Do it
I
too.
can't bring you to Florida or New York while you're still in the Canary Islands. So, like, you have to
Why
leave
not?
your home.
You've got a wormhole. Let me use it.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's what she said.
All kidding
Point it
aside,
in my
though,
direction.
I mean, like, Shane in particular, but both of us live within a quick drive to a major international airport. So come on over.
Charlotte?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll pick you up. Or we'll meet you in New York. That sounds like a good time.
That would be fun.
Mm.
We could do a live
Maybe in summer, though.
podcast
I don't really want to get caught in like
No.
10-foot snow.
I would wait. Especially if you're like a insurance company CEO or something.
Ooh.
Too soon?
Might be too
Anyway.
And so let me quickly talk about my Thanksgiving.
Please. So what did you have if not turkey?
So I splurge and I get myself a cut of beef
Nice. What
I
cut?
do up. So Alyssa doesn't eat red meat, so I almost never have it, but I used to eat it a lot, and so yeah, maybe 3 times a year I'll have a steak these days. So whenever I do, I allow myself to splurge a little bit, and I found a company that will ship Japanese or Australian Wagyu to me. And so that's what I did. I had a really nice ribeye. And then we just do like, it's literally our Thanksgiving is kind of a smorgasbord. We had no turkey. We did have ham. So kind of traditional there. Alyssa had a Moravian chicken pie. And then we had a whole bunch of I guess, slightly more standard sides with like stuffing, broccoli casserole, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole. Did I already say that one? A lot of the casseroles. And yeah, overall, it was great. It was very exhausting. We had Alyssa's brother and his family in town and stayed with us. So we had 4 kids, 6 and under, running around the house. And that's a lot. It's a lot of constantly going after them to clean up from their messes, but it was really, really awesome to have all of the cousins playing together. They had a good time, and we got out and about to do a decent amount of stuff, got them climbing. John, who is 6, really enjoyed the climbing gym. He just wanted to go back after our first visit, and we made it to the North Carolina Zoo. So, yeah, overall, it was a really good week. Plenty tiring. I needed an additional, 3 days off. Would have been great to recover and handle all of the laundry and home cleanup and stuff like that. But that aside, it was a really good holiday. And, yeah.
I'm interested in how, of all these things that you just described, in how you prepared the steak.
Okay, so normally I sous vide.
Okay.
This time I did not, and I don't really know why I chose not to. I guess just for the simplicity of it. I will say sometimes I will almost always sous vide my fillets because they are usually a little bit thicker. Right,
Yep.
They're kind of like a shape that is less surface area to volume ratio. We're getting technical now.
No, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
I love cooking steak. So
Whereas the ribeye is thinner but a larger kind of area, and this was a 16-ounce BMS 8.9 ribeye. So tons, or was it maybe 6-7, whatever. Lots of marbling, and so even on a traditional, I do it over on a big green egg, and man, I mean over a decently high heat, it cooks really, really quickly. So by the time you get some of the, I never know how to pronounce it, Maillard reaction on the surface, right? You develop a little crust. The ribeye center is the temperature you want, so it immediately comes off. Whereas on a fillet, if you kind of take that same approach, you're gonna butcher the crust before you get the center to be the medium rare that I'm looking for. So that's why I will sous vide.
that was
the
my
fillets
next.
a lot.
So medium rare, but what temperature? And did you use an internal thermometer?
I do. So for that particular setup and with the ribeye, I kind of know that I have to pull it off really early. So I lifted the steak off the grill at about 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
I then season. I'm in the camp that I prefer to season my steaks after they come off.
Okay.
So then I will quickly season it. I then wrapped it up in aluminum and then just let it self-rest and like, you know, I know, as he's dabbing his mouth, kind of soak in a lot of the juices over the span of like 15 minutes when we were kind of getting the table
a little
ready to
low,
go.
so it would have to sit for a bit.
Yeah. So, but what's crazy is the first few times I tried to cook Wagyu like this, I had never had steaks that were this high in marbling fat content. And with the ribeyes in particular, like, it's like, 40% just very soft
Nice.
fat, and then like 60%
Now
meat.
I'm drooling.
And so it is so easy to overcook them. Like the first time I did it, I lifted them at like 125 degrees. They'll usually rest, kind of get up that extra 5-10 degrees to like the classic 130, 135. But whenever I did that, there's just like the fat gets hotter than the meat itself. And so that fat internally, it's literally just like liquefied butter almost. It's
Right.
intertwined into the meat fibers, and they will like really continue to cook. So you think that you're doing it well with one of these Wagyu steaks, and then you cut into it and it's like medium well. The temperature might be okay. Like even that, like you kind of you went to like 140, which on like a normal fillet would be fine, like kind of a medium-ish. But no, these will just be like gray throughout because of just how much more fat content is. So I have learned expensively, I have learned that at least for my setup, and if you are doing like a hot grill to kind of really get a nice crust, so the exterior of the steak is really hot, you can pull it off, wrap it, and let it continue to self-cook, and it'll come up like, a good 20, 25 degrees internally.
So last question, and then we'll get to Simon, who is behaving like a vegetarian during a steak conversation. Very quiet. So seasoning. What do you season with?
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot. Literally salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, and then a little bit, like a tiny bit of thyme usually, or maybe a rosemary. But I prefer like the thyme and rosemary to be so light that it's more of a fragrance than an actual taste. But yeah, I'm a pretty simple, I don't go super crazy on any sort of really heavy seasoning. Like it's just
Good.
the salt,
Good
pepper mostly.
I just do salt.
and steak.
So I'm very,
Yeah.
I want the meat to talk for itself, you know?
Yeah. And I pre-salt. That is the one seasoning
Okay.
I do before it goes on the grill. So I will open the steak out of its vacuum sealed wrapper, get it onto an elevated like plate and grate. I will salt it, leave it in the fridge, typically overnight, and then go.
Do you
from
let it
there.
come to room temperature before you cook it?
Not fully to room temperature, especially not on a Thanksgiving. There's just too much going on
Right.
for me to like keep track of all of this
6
stuff.
kids. Someone's going to
Yeah.
knock the A5 over.
And yeah, actually, like, I don't really find myself doing that too much, because if I am having a fillet or something that's more chunky, I'm sous videing it. And so that is
Right.
totally bringing it up to temp. But if I'm doing a ribeye or a picanha or another cut that is more slender, then yeah, I actually, and especially with Wagyu, I don't really want it to come up to room temperature too much, because then the internal temp will be higher than I want it before I can get a crust. And so I actually want it to be slightly chilled, so that like in the 4 minutes it's on the grill, I get like the crust right where I like it, while the internal temp isn't too high. So
fun. So fascinating.
this is the most technical conversation I've had on my steak cooking, and this is awesome.
I think you've talked about cooking steak for longer than it would take me to eat it.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
This was great. This was fun. You guys want to talk about pizza? Because I could go on really long with pizza. We'll have to hold that for another episode.
Or we just carry this one over to next week. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, we could just keep talking until next week. This will be fine.
There we go. Yeah. So I'm kind of into steaks. I'm really into pizza.
No, really.
So if like you thought what I just described with steaks was a moderate amount of preparation and effort, then my steaks are on a whole other. I mean, I'm sorry, my pizzas are on a whole other level.
Let's
So
do
might have to
pizza
talk about
next
that sometime.
time.
We got to hang
Yeah.
out more often, Steven.
Dude, come on over.
I've got a.
Let's do it. I'm
my
still
uncle,
waiting for you
if he
to
ever
fly to
watches
me.
this.
So
Yeah, me too. I got to get up there. But my uncle bought me a pizza oven.
okay.
It's
And-
unopened in my garage for like
Is it
3
in,
years.
like an in-house or outside pizza
yes,
oven?
you can do either
Either. Is
Yeah.
it electric, gas, wood?
propane or wood. You can do either.
Oh, do you know the model?
I can go look, but not off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's literally just sitting in a box, brand new, unopened. Yeah.
How big is it? I'm
You
like,
know?
this is like 20 questions. Can
like-
Steven guess the exact model
I
that
don't know.
Shane
It's
has?
probably like 2.5 cubed ish.
Oh, wow. Is it on a pallet? Is it?
No,
Okay.
it's in a box from QVC.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I have, we've gone through, I think 2 unis, and now we are using a Gosney dome. And so that is a decent sized, it's good for your standard 12, 13 inch Neapolitan pizza. But no, like you can't do really multiple pizzas at a time. But it's kind of roughly the size you're talking about. I really wanted it because I love having the ability to do. Here we go. Now I'm talking about pizza, guys. Damn it. Propane or just gas and wood because it's so convenient. I mean, this thing is like 130 pounds, right? It's like 60 kilos. And what's vital with these pizza ovens are the floors. So the stones that you put your pizza on, and you want them to be thick and to have a lot of thermal mass so that as you're launching pizzas repetitively, you're not just draining the floor of all of its heat, right? It's way easier to get the top of your pizza and the flame to be much hotter than the floor. And so that's what I always ran into problems with unis is by the time you're making like your 4th pizza, one after the other, the floor has drained so much of the heat that it's just like, and then you have to wait and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the Gaussian dome is awesome for that, but it takes a long time. So it takes like 45 minutes to heat, kind of like a heat saturation point. And it's so nice to be able to do that with propane because then you just whack it on. You don't have to pay attention to it. You go back a half an hour, 45 minutes later. It's like close to temperatures that you want. Then I can start my fire with the propane. And then, the final like 15 to 20 minutes is just tending the fire and actually cooking the pizzas. And it's so nice.
You should try a
I love
steak
it.
in one.
I have. Yeah, I've
Have you?
done. Yep. I use
think
like
it
a
would
cast
leave a
iron.
mess, but
I use a
yeah,
cast iron
okay.
pan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is also good. That is also good. So, I've done quite a bit of stuff. We've done potatoes in it. I've baked bread in it. We've done kebabs, sandwiches, quite a few things. Because at the end of the day, the dome even has a water injection point, so you can steam in it if you really, really wanted to for baking bread. So it's
Cool.
quite versatile, and it has like a door that you can use, so you can set some stuff up, and then at the end of the day, like it's just a freaking oven. It just so happens that it'll get to like 1,000 degrees rather
Right.
than the 500 of your indoor oven, and yeah, so pretty cool. That's 500 Celsius for you, Simon. 1,000, roughly 950 or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's like, "What's
let me
pizza?"
stop talking about food because it's 10:35 a.m. I'm already wanting pizza. This is-
It's a good
Pizza
job I had
sounds
lunch
good.
before we started this episode this time because like last time my stomach was going "Grrr," and we weren't even talking about food.
Yeah. We actually, okay, I'm going to have to talk about one more thing. God dang. I should not have gotten started on pizza. But my wife and I I actually wanted to bring this up in a prior episode, and I don't think we talked about it, but our anniversary is December 2nd. We weren't going to have the opportunity to do anything.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary,
yeah.
Alyssa.
So we weren't going to be able to do anything this week for our anniversary, but a couple weekends ago, we were able to arrange a babysitter, and we wanted to do something a little bit different. And there is a pizza restaurant. Really, it's a full Italian restaurant in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, called MPN, Mission Pizza Napoletana. And we wanted to they do like a special experience that they call the pizza casse. I'm not really sure if that's how you say it, but it's a play on words with like a sushikase or something that is popular in Japan. The whole point is that it is, you pay some money and then you're going to have a tasting menu that's totally up to the chef. So you just like sit down in front of them, and the 3 chefs are just going to be making stuff and plopping it in front of you, and you get to try it and eat it. And so doing that, Italian's like our favorite genre of food. So, man, yeah, take Neapolitan pizza, pasta dishes, salad, desserts, and we did this experience. And it was really, really cool. And one of the pizzas that we had at that event that really wowed us, because I had never thought about doing something like this before, was a cacio e pepe pizza. So cacio e pepe is a popular pasta dish in Italy, specifically Rome, and it's just like a kind of classic cream cheese pepper sauce with pasta. And so he did that kind of similar sauce, added a little bit of wine, I believe, to add some acidity, some brightness on the pizza, and it was so freaking good. So then the next time we were making our pizzas, we had to give it a try, just like whip up our own version. Like we had no recipes to go off of. But it took us, we made 4 pizzas that night. And by the 4th one, it was a banger. It was freaking good. We did some roasted garlic, a little bit of grilled chicken, some prosciutto, and then the mozzarella and the regular cacio e pepe sauce. And it was good.
I have questions about pizza now, but I'm going to wait.
Yeah, we should probably let Simon talk. This poor guy has gotten like 3 words.
Yeah, while we were eating turkey and steak, and while we were vacationing ish, how was work last week? I guess.
Thanks. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
No, it was good actually. So I used the time wisely, and I finished building some stuff that I've been building, and I was able to deploy it this week, which is great. So, yeah, while you're all busy getting fat and enjoying yourselves, I was, holding down the fort, making sure everything continues to run. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I was thinking while you were talking about all of the steak stuff, I mean, but you've gone so deep into... And that it's just off the top of your head as well, Stephen, is incredible. Like, I just know I like my steak medium rare, and preferably, I could cut it up and put it in my mouth and chew it down. I was just like, yeah, flavor, not too fatty. I prefer it not too fatty, and you're like, I'm going to cook it at this temperature and I'm going to get it to that. And it's like, oh my gosh. Okay. We're on different planes of existence.
I definitely take my, the way my brain works for engineering and going really deep into something, and I totally apply it to culinary stuff. This is why I roast my own coffee. I'm really, into the pizza. Like, literally the one thing I'd really like to try to maybe get for Christmas this year is a proper dough mixer. A commercial style. They call them a spiral mixer. It's where the dough hook does spin, but it stays in place and the bowl spins. And there's a breaker bar so that it's constantly kind of breaking the gluten structure and then mixing it back in and putting it together. Rather than, I have a standard KitchenAid planetary mixer, but for high hydration doughs, which is what we use for our pizza, it's not the best thing. So
We had a Hobart.
I go deep, man.
I worked
I
at
go
a pizza place. I worked at several pizza places. We had this big Hobart, but it didn't have any of that fancy stuff. And they were cranking out hundreds and hundreds of pizzas a day.
Yeah. So Hobart, even those are typically a planetary mixer, but even those are better for doing doughs. A lot of pizza places, especially in America, they don't do high hydration doughs because unless you're working with like 1,000-degree oven, it's actually
Gotcha.
an inferior product. Like you'll end up with a pizza that isn't cooked, and nobody wants that. So a lot of pizza
Simon
commercial
won't care.
I'm easy.
Just throw some tomatoes on it. You're fine.
just take a slice of store bread, maybe some tomatoes, and fill with some cheese. We're good to go. But yeah, they'll
had pizza
typically
like
use
that.
a much lower hydration dough. And yeah, even the Hobarts are totally like not totally different, but like the clearance of the hook to the bowl when you're working with a planetary mixer is a big thing, and so those are set up different. And even for commercial setting, like that's those make a lot of sense because most of them, that's also how they grate their cheese and stuff like that. So kind of a different thing. But if you look at, virtually every pizza shop that's doing Neapolitan style pizza, so high hydration, wood fire ovened pizza, they are probably using a spiral mixer like that to some degree.
You already know more about doing pizza than I do as well. I mean, I've made my own pizza, but I don't do it anywhere near enough. The thing is, like, when I was living in London, you can get such good pizza in London. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, you can't get good pizza in the States. I'm sure you can. There's one or two places somewhere that...
Unless I
But
drive an hour.
I've had like the best pizza in New York, and nope, that was not
Right.
good. And yeah,
I thought you said you didn't want to get political, because them's fighting words to a lot of people.
Bring it, bitch. I've had some incredible pizza in London, and it's like, yeah, once your taste has been elevated to that, it's hard to go back down. And when we moved here, I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to get good pizza anywhere. And then it's not as good as London pizza, but it's close. It's very close. One nearby, and I'm like craving it every week. I'm like, can we get pizza? Can we get pizza?
What's the style of the pizza there?
So this is kind of like a sourdough base.
Okay.
You know, like very fluffy but very thin, not super crusty or anything like that.
Okay. Sounds Neapolitan-esque.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a bit. You get what you get because there's not really any authentic people or equipment here. It's like folks who kind of borrowed stuff from. Hey, there might be one or two Italians, you know, from a specific region who know what they're doing. But then, yeah, whether they're actually good restaurateurs is another question, you know. So it's a bit hit and miss, but there's occasionally some young folks who have travelled a bit wider and go, oh, we can bring this back home and try and do it there and show people a taste of what's out in the world, and it lasts slightly longer than every other business that tries to do that, because people here really like the tried and true, like the Spanish tapas, and you know, it's only in the last couple of years I would say that things have really started to branch out, you know. When you were saying about the Japanese style of the stuff that you were going to do at that Italian place you were talking about, I remember when we were in Japan earlier this year, the izakaya is the kind of like little bits of food that they, all the different types, not just sushi or whatever, but it's so good. And we went to this one place that a real foodie person from there, she's a chef, and we did a like cooking lesson with her. I can't remember her name, but I'll find it.
Fun.
And it was so good. And then she recommended this place that we would go for dinner, and we went there on the evening of the same day that we were doing cooking with her on the morning. and it was, I mean, I just wanted everything twice. And it was just like small enough dishes that you go, that's not enough, let's order some more. And then by the time you've eaten it all, you're just like, oh God.
Dude.
And of course, everyone else knows what they're doing, and they're going, no, I have that, and that's it. And we're like, let's have that. So
Yeah.
it all comes out, and it was just like
Yeah.
incredible. Every bit of it was incredible. And the guys are there just in the middle of the room cooking, and all the pots are going, and they're stirring everything and shoving it in a bowl and wanging it over to you. It's just like, wow.
Cool.
It was
Yeah.
so good.
Totally. I felt like
Anyway.
a super noob at our MPN experience because we're eating at some point. I think we were on like the third dish, and Alyssa and I just kind of muddled ourselves like, oh my gosh, I'm like already getting full. And the middle chef that was right in front of where we were sitting at the bar, he was like, oh man, guys, you're like not even halfway through. Oh my goodness, we don't know what we're doing. So we rolled out of there. I mean,
Yeah.
could barely walk. We were so full. It was like it was up to my throat, just so stuffed because it was so
Oh,
delicious.
gosh.
So next time we do it, we know how to approach it, and that we would do the exact same way, but like, you know, every time we get a slice or a portion of something, like half is going to go in a to-go box, and then we'll actually eat half there so that
You're
we're
just
not
gonna
driving home
hide
with
your-
complete indigestion. Just yeah.
You're just sliding stuff off the table into this little. Don't let them see.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
So
Yeah. What else?
Oh, I've got things.
let's hear it.
All right. First of all, it's December 6th. As of the
What's so
time of
special
this
about that?
recording. Well, it's my brother's birthday, but that's not why I brought that up. We're within a couple months of them announcing, them being Laravel, where Laracon's going to be this year. Usually around February, like right after EU-ish.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Me too.
Do you have
I'm
any hunches
also-
about where it might be?
That was my next question. So do you guys... they teased Las Vegas last year, or like they went Nashville instead. Like I remember Taylor saying, "What do you guys think of Las Vegas?" And I think maybe people had problems with it because they moved it to Nashville. There was also 2020 was going to be the Atlanta Aquarium. So unless they
yeah.
go, if they go with one of those, that's the only kind of clues, hunches, whatever that I would think. Other than that, I mean, maybe they take it back to New York City or Miami, or, you know, because
Not
he
Miami.
posts. What's that?
And I said not Miami. Not if
I
it's
mean-
in the end of August again. It will be
Even Nashville
brutal.
was bad, or Dallas was bad in August.
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't
even
that
Dallas Dallas was dry enough that it really wasn't that bad. Miami.
Actually,
would be
my problem was how cold I was in the venue, and I had to go outside and warm up. Seriously,
especially the Europeans, they're not like used to like that level of air conditioning.
I'm
And
not
so,
even,
yeah, they're all in
apparently.
like hoodies and stuff.
it was bad.
It was
It's
snowing
100
in there
degrees
at one
outside and 50 inside.
That's funny. That's what happened to Caleb's talk. There was some snow had melted and got into the cables and
Yeah.
messed
Have they
things
done
up.
it in Denver ever?
No. I don't think so. No.
No.
I know, like back. So my first one was 2019. Before that, I remember Chicago was one of them. I don't remember any others though.
Okay.
I remember there were, but I don't remember where they were.
Yeah. Denver would also be hot, but it's like desert hot, so it's, you know, hot during the day, a little bit cooler at night, but dry. Not too bad. But Denver's just like a really cool
I
city,
do hope they
guess.
do
I
it a
don't know where
little bit
convention-
earlier in the summer, because that's like when school starts for my kid.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I'm missing kind of his first week of school, or maybe I think it was the second week, but
Have they traditionally been like at that same time?
Earlier.
Like
No,
end of
they were
August?
Yeah,
in
it was in July.
July.
last year. Yeah. In
Yeah.
2019.
I'd
also.
imagine that's a I don't know. Do you guys think that's a difficult decision to make? Like what they would really consider when picking a place. I mean, you got like the fundamentals of like, okay, what's the venue space we can have, but I wonder if they're trying to, you know, think about where in the country they've been in the past, and so not overly booking Laracons that are like all East Coast.
You're
All West
overthinking
Coast.
it.
Or,
You're overthinking
am I overthinking it? No? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they're doing a bit of that, but I think all of that goes out of the window now after the growth that they've had this year, because
That's what I think.
they've got team everywhere. They're going to have complications just sorting themselves out, getting everybody into the same place. So it really just doesn't like. In some respects, I think it's just like where's cool to go, and what are people going to enjoy? What are people going to shell out the expense to get there for? And you know, also Laracon's becoming like a showpiece in the wider tech community of like good conferences, right? So now it's got to compete on the levels of other bigger conferences that are going to like amazing venues or locations, and I think they're going to see more of that.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like, real quick, Shane, I'm curious to your guys' opinion. Do you feel like Las Vegas would be good or bad for the people that come to a
dangerous. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Because, like, let's face it, like, you know, me included, I feel like a large percentage of the people that come to a Laracon are like a little bit more reserved, introvert personalities and stuff. I don't really know if Las Vegas would be too. I mean, like you know, I guess like whatever the stereotypical side of Las Vegas that you couldn't get into. Like, is that too much for those people, or would it be fun to kind of break out of the box a little bit? What do you think? Would people like that or not?
I would love it.
Well, yeah, Simon, you're one
I
of the
really
few
would just
people
want to
I
go
can
to
think of
Vegas.
that-
I still, yeah, no, I'd have a good time.
I feel like
for
you,
sure.
Nuno, like several people I know that are just, you know, big energy, fun personalities, more extroverted.
You think I'm
You'd
big
have
energy?
A lot of fun.
Nah.
Yeah.
with those
You
eyes,
didn't talk
baby.
to everybody at all. You have great energy.
And then I went home or to the Airbnb and I just flaked. I was like,
No, you did not. We left at like 10 that night, and I heard stories about you until like 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, and you still had a plane to catch. No,
and
You're gonna
I
deny it
got there on
publicly?
time.
Yeah,
No,
right,
it's true.
I guess the reason I really asked that
Mm.
is because I was a little bit surprised in some degree that at even Laracon 2024, it seemed like a lot of the more prominent folks that you would think, at least as an outsider, would curate some after event activities. Now I know that we had the major one after the first day. That's not what I'm talking about. But like even the day before the conference or after the second day, there just like wasn't as much gathering as I was kind of expecting from like the speakers largely, you know, like getting together and doing some stuff. It seemed like a lot of them kind of did private 4-person hangouts and hotel rooms and stuff like that. And like, so that's why I'm wondering, like, I mean, Las Vegas can be a totally different experience where like you wouldn't, if you're just going to be shelled up in a hotel room, you're kind of missing out on what Las Vegas can bring. So that's kind of why I'm asking. Do you feel
I think
like
you touched on something interesting, because the Laracon AU had this whole after the second day thing.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen anything or heard much about it, but I'm pretty sure that was like on the schedule for them to do this whole extra thing. Maybe they canned it. I don't actually know, because they were talking about it at one point that it was going to happen. But this kind of what do they call it? Like a sponsors day or something, you know, effectively.
Okay.
Like let people just get together and chat and meet the sponsors and I don't know. Do stuff.
that was part of the my idea for the app that I had, and I should reach out to Michael Drenda and see what their app is doing. So that was one of the biggest things, and I think that might even be like the primary. So the app idea we had for like a Laracon app was for attendees to be able to create a private or public meetup, basically. And you just say, we're meeting at this restaurant 6:00, or this, room, or the first 10 people that put their name on the list can meet here, whatever it is. Or a private thing where the three of us can just say, or we can invite a few other people and they can go. But a way to like, I guess just have, a meetup. I mean, it'd be cool if it was part of the whole experience, and that's where that's where it was kind of playing into, where you could like just scan someone's their lanyard or whatever, and have their Twitter and their Blue Sky or whatever it is,
right. Get that connection.
Have the connection, make comments to each other, invite them to a group, etc.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they landed with all that stuff, but I think it'd be interesting. I agree. I think that from what I know, and Simon may have more information, if not now after EU, but like I think there's like a speakers meeting the night before, and they all like have a dinner together, and that's great. I think that's cool. I do think that it would be nice to have more. I mean, I don't know. I can't really complain. Like the after party of the first night, whatever, the after dark, the Laracon after dark, after the first night. I think that's great. I think it should be more up to the people that are going. But then again, I don't know. I don't really go to other conferences, tech conferences, or any conferences really, other than Laracon. So Taylor did post. He went to reInvent AWS last week or the week before or something. So I'm sure he's gathering ideas and, trying to see what he wants to incorporate. And now he's got a bigger team and a CEO and all that stuff that he can bounce ideas off from and, come up with the best plan for Laracon.
Okay.
Any thoughts, Simon, about speaking at US?
Whoa. I don't know, man. That's too much.
Let the man get through February.
How is that too much? Is US intimidating more than Europe? Like, I think that'd be good preparation for US talk,
Yeah, maybe. I think part of it is now, especially the talks are kind of either fully live streamed. So I think this one's probably going to be live streamed as well. Or they're at least recorded and then shown after, sometime afterwards. I think, was it last year that they kind of held off publishing the EU videos, or this year until like after US or something because of some of the, I don't know. There was, I remember there being they were recorded and there was like some delay and people like, I want to watch the talks and I can't because they haven't posted them yet. And now it just feels like they're getting into the swing of we're live streaming and then we're posting the recordings kind of almost immediately after the event, which is great because I think it is, obviously a large part of it is I'm going to the event and I'm attending, so I'm literally enjoying being there with everybody. But the material that's shared, I think that's fair enough to let everybody have access to that. So the challenge then is on the speakers. If you're speaking at 2 consecutive events, to make it like interesting, you don't just do the exact same talk again because a lot of people have probably watched it, or there's a high chance that they could watch it. So yeah, and then I don't know, like, if I've got the time and the energy to do that. Like, it's a lot of work to get a talk together, and it takes a lot of psychological energy just to get up there and do the thing. So yeah, let's see. I mean, maybe I'll completely fail on this one, so there'll be no risk of me being asked to go and do it somewhere in America. But
don't think you'll completely fail. And also, failure, I'm a big fan of failure. I think that's how we learn. So
yeah, it absolutely is. But there's also the, whoa, man, that guy's a liability. Let's not get him to do a talk again. Imagine, like, if I just set the place on fire. It's like, oops.
Just
Oops,
don't
accidentally.
have a deep fryer with a frozen turkey.
Right, today we're going to cook this frozen turkey. This
I was
deep
talking
with
to my
PHP.
mates in the U.S. and apparently this is a thing. So
I'm going to use Laravel. Laravel reverb to control the temperature of this. Yeah. Nope.
Great idea.
oh man, I'm just curious. Are there any other ideas of a Laracon U.S. location that come to mind for you guys?
Like if you could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing a meetup in San Francisco? Did I see something about that the other day?
I was thinking California somewhere. Be cool.
I'm
I don't
sure.
know. I didn't see that.
I have to check this now.
You can
I
definitely
think-
get some good weather in California.
I'd love to go back to New York. I
Yeah,
like New
that was
York.
good.
I think it'd be cool. I think, like honestly, like if I think about places to go and visit, travel to in the U.S., I'm thinking about vacations and not really a conference. I'm not so picky.
Right.
I mean, that time of the year, the more south you go, the hotter it is. Not a huge fan of the heat, but I prefer it over the cold. So, like for me, it'd be cool if it was in Charlotte, our backyard, we could just drive there every day. It actually would suck because then it's like no traveling. It's cheaper, and then everybody's in our neck of the woods for a while, but I don't see that ever happening just because there's nothing special, I guess. No offense, Charlotte, but there's nothing really
it's-
special about Charlotte,
Yeah, and it's not, unless you're literally downtown, it's not particularly walkable or anything like that. So
No.
people
No.
flying in, getting from the airport and then around.
There's nothing to do.
I wonder if, given everything that's been happening with Laravel and what that conference, I think, is starting to represent, I wonder if it makes sense for them to try to get to a specific city that works really, really well, and then they just always do it there. Kind of like how CES is always in Las Vegas. And so year after year, they can have these relationships with vendors and caterers and the venue, and it's
I don't think that's a bad idea, but after 10 years of doing it not like that,
not like
6 shows, I guess, right?
like, don't get it's cool that it goes around. I just feel bad for event planning because unless you are going exactly back to a place you have been before, you're like kind of starting from scratch. And it's like, oh man, we need boots on the ground to
Kind of
figure out, like, is this,
But
whatever
like,
concert hall going to be okay for a tech
but that's what you
presentation
have the
location
money
and
to have a
everything like
team for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just, it's one of those things that if you did find the right place and you went to it year after year, you could like really optimize that experience. Versus
But is that the
putting
goal?
so much energy into figuring.
Right.
I don't know. That's why.
But I think, well, maybe there's been some intentionality in around like jumping around to different places to like soak up as many of the local Laravel people as possible and give them a chance to enjoy the conference vibe.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like it's also for people who are like traveling far, seeing all these different places is great. I think if it was in the same place again and again, I wouldn't come over. Definitely, I wouldn't come over. So far, Laracon US has dragged me to 3 awesome locations in the US, which I've really enjoyed. And if it continues to do that, I will continue to come.
So where have you been other than Dallas?
Nashville last
Nashville,
year
New York.
and New York.
Okay, so 2 good places. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to blow smoke. You know what we should
It's
do?
not, Aaron
you guys,
Francis, you got to talk to Aaron Francis. He's going to tell you how good Dallas is.
Yeah, I have to admit, never a place I would move. That is like bass backwards of what I look for in a city.
Kermit
But-
T-Sip.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the conferences where they rent out a cruise ship?
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's
That'd be cool.
That's a cool
Whilst
idea.
it's moving, or
Yeah. So it's literally a vacation at sea, and especially for
That'd
a
be
conference the
distracting.
size of Laracon, right, where you have like 1,000+ people going. You couldn't do it on like Oasis of the Seas, one of the massive ships, but for some of them, like 1,200 person passenger capacity is. Yeah, okay. Hey, if you get 3,000, attendees, then yeah, you literally could rent out Oasis of the Seas. But no, I don't think that would work well. You kind of need one of the other ones where like they do it because the theater that are on most of these ships, right, can like hold the right amount of people. So it's like it's got built-in food, it's got built-in stage space with all of the seating that you can have all of the people there at one time and whatnot. So
I don't know. I really just hate the idea of being trapped on a water-based prison with 1,000
Oh, you've never been on a
randoms.
cruise?
Oh, hell no. I don't want to do that.
Shane, have you? Have
Nope.
you ever been on a... No. All right, I'm ending this session.
I do want to go on one though. So, but I don't think that'd be a good spot for a conference. I think it'd be distracting. I would want to enjoy the pool or the view or the something, and I don't want to hear Caleb talk about Flux themes or something.
You do.
Just saying.
Don't lie.
I'd be
You
distracted.
want both. You want both.
But I mean, honestly, this last time, because you meet people over the years, and it's like that's kind of a good buddy of mine, Andre Santiago. What's his last name? It's not Santiago. I'm butchering it. You know, Andres
Santibanez.
Santibanez. Is that right? Sounds wrong.
Yeah.
but it's probably right.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
But it's like him and a couple other guys, whatever. Like, there's talks going on, and I'm talking to them for an hour and a half instead of watching the talk because I know it's going to be recorded and I can watch it later. Not a big deal. You know what I mean? So I could be distracted and still feel like I'm getting my money's worth,
I guess.
Santibáñez.
Yeah. Pronunciation was better than mine. I actually bumped
don't know, the
into
more I
him
think
in
about
the
it,
airport. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just like,
Which
it was
airport?
one of those like meet cute thing. When I got to Texas, I was waiting for my bag, and he was kind of opposite side of the bag machine, and then I was like, I recognize that guy, but I don't know how. And how would I recognize somebody in Texas? That's so random. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here for Laracon. I know.
Then you start looking around the airport for people
Yeah. And so I went over to like see, then you have that awkward like, are you... I actually did the whole... I saw him, smirked because he caught my eye and we sort of smiled at each other and I was like, oh, someone's into me. I like this. And then I went on Twitter and I was like, I'm sure this is Andres someone. And I found him and I was like looking at his picture and looking at him and I was like, yeah, that's the guy. And I went round and said hello. But yeah, that could have been really awkward. And go on.
I was going to say, I met him in the airport also last year. So he just posted, I've got a 3-hour wait. I've already checked in. I'm at gate, whatever. And it was right next to where I was. So him and Luke Towers sat there and had a beer and a burger and stuff and just chilled for a couple hours.
I met Luke.
Luke's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So, airports and Andre Santibáñez. Another working title possibility for...
Dude, this episode has been all over the place. Like
the number 9,
great.
Aliens.
We're talking
That's
about
good.
aliens, numbers.
We
Pizza,
just have to
steak,
make sure when we
Laracon.
edit it lands on a multiple of 9 so that it like all works out. Like
46
my
too.
Riverside is saying 99% uploading right now. That's good, right?
It's a sign, dude. It's a sign. They're watching.
For next episode, I'm definitely covering the number 37. And
I'll watch it. You got to watch
I'll have
9.
to refresh my memory.
I'm serious.
The bucket is 9 letters.
I don't know if that's... Is that right? Oh, it is.
Come on, Shane.
My
Where
last
have you
name?
been? I thought you were going to do this.
Rosenthal.
No. My name?
Stephen
9 letters?
Fox. Stephen
Oh
Fox.
my
Say no.
God. This is wild.
Simon Ham.
Yeah. No.
Without the P. Simon
It's
Ham.
close. It's
what?
close.
No.
Simon Ham.
With the P is 9 letters. You know 4
Oh my
plus
God.
5 is
I don't know
9.
why I couldn't count that.
Oh Jesus.
On that note, see you guys next week.
Yep. I don't know where we go from there. So.
I don't know.
We know Shane is bad at counting letters.
That's okay.
You can't get a job at Sesame Street. There, it's done.
I don't know if I want.
With that said, I mean, we're an hour and I don't know, 15 or something into this. You guys have anything else you want to chat about on this episode, or you want to wrap up?
I feel like I've been so out of it. I feel like I haven't posted anything on Twitter or Blue Sky or anywhere. So, and I haven't checked any. Like, I haven't even been reading the news this week. Been full on. So, I'm.
Did you guys happen to
empty.
listen to this week's mostly technical episode?
Not even that.
Because it was like, that's in my recent memory, like a good little riff back and forth between Ian and Aaron talking about Blue Sky. And then like, yeah, it was the most debatey I feel like I've heard them in a long time. So
Oh, that's a good plug.
probably the most like the most recent one that also comes to mind with that was when they were talking about AC stuff in Aaron's house. But yeah, this one was they were going back and forth good. But since you guys didn't watch it, I'm gonna chop that there because we can't really talk about it. So all good.
Maybe we
Excellent
should just talk
content,
about
Steven.
pizza.
Yeah, right.
Let's go back.
Okay, so let me talk about how you make a poolish. This is
Who?
a poolish.
Never mind.
A
No.
I
I
didn't
didn't ask
ask
that. I didn't say that. I know exactly what a Polish is.
Oh, okay.
Talking to the wrong guy.
Okay. We'll talk about pre-ferments next episode. This is going from a quasi-technical podcast to just Steven's food ramblings.
Maybe that's what it should become. Steven's food bucket.
You know, the reason that I guess like my food is that way is because I'm very picky. Let's be honest. I'm very picky. I like to try things, but I just want them to be really high quality.
Yeah.
And it just inevitably leads you down this rabbit hole where when you start cooking yourself, you just want it to be really good. And so, but that's actually like the thing that really knocked it for us with NPM. It was the first time I have ever had pizza out somewhere that I just
keep
thought
thinking you're
flat
saying
out, this is
NPM.
better. I
I'm
know.
like,
M.
You're
Yeah, me
Just
too. I was like,
you're installing a million packages into your stomach.
No, not.
and then I'm thinking bun install.
My node modules
So much
folder
better.
is so full.
Don't commit. Don't commit.
Oh man, this makes me want to kick off like a just collection of packages that are all food related. You know, just like something
It's a
named
great
tomato and one like. Anyway, but yeah, that pizza at MPN. Shane, help
Same
me
thing,
out.
but
That'd be
backwards.
Mike. What's
Just
P?
like 81 and
Papa
18.
November.
There you go.
Mike
Yeah.
Papa November. It was the first time I've had pizza out in a very long time that I thought this is better than I can do. And so that was special. It was good.
Whiskey
Awesome.
Tango Foxtrot.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Be the best call sign ever. And catch you next week.
So, if you liked any part of this episode, especially the number 9 stuff, chances
This
are
week's episode
no
has
one
been
you
sponsored
know.
by-
Right?
Well, hey,
The
Shane,
letters.
37
That's a great
is
idea.
also an awesome number, and 3 plus 7 is
Not 9.
not 9. Okay, good.
It's 10,
Nine,
but
nine,
1
nine,
plus
nine.
0 is 1, and 10 minus 1 is... All right, so we're both gonna watch each other. I'm serious. I got you on tape with this. You're gonna watch the number 9, and I'll watch the number 37, and then we'll come back next week and we'll talk about.
What do I watch?
Rainbows.
You got to watch both.
You got to watch the rainbow one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty
There's
good.
actually a really good one too. We had this on our show notes from months ago on QR codes.
Yeah.
And
I haven't watched that one yet.
Wow. Like, it's just all these things that you just see all over the place. And like, as a programmer, I have looked at QR codes all the time, and my brain is like, okay, you know, I just believe that the corners are to have orientation basis. And like, maybe this is how some stuff works, but like, how do some QR codes have a logo in the middle, and how does that not lose data to the point that you can't reconstruct what it means? And like, how do you fit, you know, like, okay, black and white is a 1 and 0, but how do you turn it? It was really cool to just have a great video that's concise, that fully goes through the history of it and explains the algorithm behind QR codes. Good
It's cool stuff.
I love that channel. It's so good. So yeah. Simon, you are
Mark
required to watch QR code if you want. The rainbow one was super freaking
I'm
cool
definitely
too.
going to watch on. Yeah.
And then Shane has to watch 37.
I'll do it
I've got to
today.
watch number 9. We all have to look at. Well, this is a lot of video content we're watching. We all have to see what UFOs apparently the U.S. government has been in touch with.
It's gonna be a lot of links in this episode.
Yeah, and this is whenever we come back. You know, we'll get to just chat about all these YouTube videos. Great.
Before we go,
content.
Simon, what size shirt are you?
Oh gosh, it depends. I mean, I would say medium, but I don't know what medium is in American.
Medium.
Could end up
It's
being
the
really
same
big.
language. So
Just send them
Medium.
your send them your
Let's
measurements.
send you a
maybe
medium and a
off
small.
off
Is that what you're
If I
thinking?
can
of?
end up using it as a sail for my ship, that's fine.
No offense, I don't think you're small in American though. No, I
Okay.
think medium. I wear medium. This is medium.
Women's medium.
Women's medium. Okay.
Just send them your bust and waist, etc. measurements, and we'll
I'm
put
not
it
sending you
together
my
for
bust. I'm not cutting my flesh for you.
Oh,
I would do it for you, Simon.
Oh. Okay. Then I will.
Well, and I like how Shane only asked you, so I guess I don't get anything.
You have no bust.
No, I already know your size, Stephen.
Oh, and you
can
know
just
my
tell by
address.
looking
This
at
is
you.
scary.
That's right. That's right.
Yikes! I like how we went from Shane legitimately doing our outro into just.
This episode was brought to you by the number 9 and the number 37 and Laracon
And rainbows.
and pizza.
Oh man!
All right, so we don't really care if you share this or not this time. If you liked it, cool. If not, cool. If you watch this long, then you're probably named Steven or Simon. And
Or Tendai.
if
Thank
not,
you,
we
Tendai,
lost you
for
back
always
into
watching.
aliens. Or Tendai. Tendai, actually, I got to send him a shirt. I got to reach out to him. So, more shirts, more stuff coming. And that's really our outro this time. See you guys next week.
Cheers.
Later.
See you, aliens.